Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about glowing up. Now, glowing up, we always think about the outer appearance, always think about like looking good. And that, yes, that is important, but there's more to glowing up than looking good. Alright, glowing up is more of a mental state of mind. You have to really change your mindset to glow up your life. And that's one of the things that I had to learn in my early 20s. I think that I thought that glowing up would be, learning how to do your makeup, looking cute, looking the part, being a baddie or whatever. And now all that, there's nothing wrong with that, but it is a mental state. You have to think about your mindset. If you're someone who always doubts yourself, always have fear, a part of growing up is learning how to let go of those things, let go of fear, let go of doubts that you may have in your head. And while that's easier said than being done, you just have to just do it. I think for me, a lot of getting rid of the mental fog or the mental state that can ruin your life is just doing it. For me, I realized that once I proved to myself that I can do it, those doubts starts to they don't eliminate themselves completely, but they become less and less because I have the physical evidence of doing something. Then it's like, okay, I have evidence, I've done that before, so I could do it again. So when it comes to glowing up mentally, the first thing you have to do is just try to do it, even if you'll fail, even if you look crazy, because once you keep doing it over and over, you can tell your mind like, hey, you're not in control of this. I'm not gonna let you control my life because I've done this before, and I'm gonna keep doing it again. Repetition is the greatest way to overcome fear and get rid of doubts, is by just repeating and being consistent in something. All right. And also another thing about glowing up is that glowing up is very uncomfortable. You're gonna have to get outside of your comfort zone. It's so comfortable to do the things that we've always done before, and when you're trying to pivot and do something new, that's so hard. Trust me, I get it. I've been there before. I'm there right now. Like, I'm preaching to myself. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to do things that you've never done before. But you know what? The more uncomfortable you are, the more that you can grow, and you can have a new limit that you've reached, and then you can go next and next to the next limit. And the sky is not the limit. We could go to the galaxy, to anywhere beyond that, once you get outside of your comfort zone. Glowing up, also, people are going to treat you differently when you glow up, and some of the time it's going to be good different. Sometimes people are going to treat you like, oh, okay, like she looks like she has her stuff together. Let me trust her to do more. Let me invite her to more places. And that's the great part of growing up. But also, people treat you different, and sometimes it's not gonna look pretty. Sometimes, people that you were friends with, people that known you since your childhood, they don't know this new you. Okay. And sometimes, we want to remind them, we want to be like, they don't know me like that. But sometimes, it's best just to move forward. If you know that relationship does no longer serve you, just move forward with your life. It's no point in going back and forth. Now, if that relationship means something to you, maybe you can still have that relationship, but keep that person at a distance. And you know when to interact with them and when not to interact with them. You know what type of conversations you can have with them and what type of conversations you can't have with them. You just have to know that glowing up means that your tribe is going to look different. Sometimes as you're going up, the people that you've known for a long time can't go with you, and sometimes that's God's protection, because sometimes as you go up, as you climb up in your career, or you have a better relationship, or you meet your spouse or whatever, sometimes as you evolve in those different seasons in your life, it's just those people cannot go with you. And it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It just means that they're not in your circle, in your immediate circle anymore, and that's okay. All right. And glowing up is ever evolving. There's no place that you're gonna get into life and you're gonna be like, oh, this is it, I done grown enough, you know, I don't have to do anything else anymore, I've grown enough, I think I've done enough. You know, that's not life. You're gonna always constantly have to evolve, have to change your mindset. And yeah, you're just gonna have to continue evolving, and that's a part of being life, that's a part of being human. You know, you're gonna make mistakes along your glow as you're growing up, and as you make those mistakes, take accountability, but acknowledge them, be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself, and move on forward. Think about how you could do things better. You know, if something didn't work out, or if you made an error, don't be afraid to apologize. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, of course, to the right people. Be vulnerable to the right people. Let them know, like, hey, you know, this is an area I'm still working on, and just give me grace and I will work on that, you know. Also, I guess this goes back to what I was saying, you're not gonna always have the answers to everything, and that's okay. You know, it's okay for you not to know the answers to everything. Sometimes you just have to be like, you know what, God, I don't understand this, but I guess this was their plan. So you just have to go along with what God has planned for you. And sometimes you may not even understand what God has planned for you, but in that moment, you just pray, and you just stay focused on what you can do. When it's time to pivot, you pivot. And you know, and just, it's uncomfortable not having all the answers. It is, trust me, I know, not having all the answers, not knowing what's the next step, it create uncertainty. And when that uncertainty is created, you're like, damn, I don't know what to do, you know. And sometimes you may just have to rest in that season. Maybe God is calling you to rest in that season, because maybe you've been doing too much, honestly, and it's time for you to rest. It's time for you to rest and recharge, so God can show you the vision that he has planned, or remind you of the vision. Sometimes when we're so busy, we forget the vision that God has planned for us, and you have to sit still and hear from God again, so that way you don't just make a mess out of things. Because sometimes when you're not unsure, it's so easy to just do anything when you're unsure. And when we do that, sometimes we might be doing things that we have no business doing, and you might be ruining God's plan. So sometimes it's just better just to stay still. If you're in a season where you're unsure and you don't know what to do, just stay still. Just stay still, rest until it's time for you to move again. All right. Glowing up, your standards are going to change. You're gonna have a different taste buds. The places that you used to go, you might not like them anymore. This goes back to, you know, losing friends and stuff like that. Your standards are gonna change. You're gonna have friends that are more like-minded, friends that understand your journey, friends that are on the same path as you, and you guys can sharpen each other. You know, it's going to take you to another standard of life, another standard of thinking. Glowing up, yes, glowing up, but like mentioned earlier, looking good, whatever, that could be a part of it, but you have to have the discipline, you have to have the habits, and you have to do that. And that is a certain standard that you have to meet. You know, maybe the standard before was waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Maybe that was okay, but if you're in a glow up season and you want your life to go a certain way, you might have to wake up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and that might be the new standard, you know. But you are going to have a new standard, a new way of thinking for you to glow up. And yeah, so let me know if you guys have any questions about glowing up. You know, we're in August right now. August, I feel like, is a season that is very, I don't know, August is a very special season for me, because, you know, it's still summertime, but it's also, you're starting to think about, like, wow, like this year is almost up. So you're starting to think about, like, what were my goals and dreams? Like, have I met them? Have I accomplished them? Like, where am I at? So if you're thinking that way, just make sure that you are glowing up the way that God wants you to glow up. And I think that's important because sometimes we have our own vision and of how we want to glow up, and sometimes that could be so surface level. You know, glowing up can be so many other ways. It could be being more involved in your community. That could be glowing up. Being in more engaging with your family, like asking your kids like how their day was. That could be glowing up. You know, having more peace in your life. Sometimes it's not always about making the most money. If you have the most money but you have no peace, it's like, ugh, do you really want that type of life? So, you know, in this month of August, I just hope you think about growing up in a way that is internal, in a way that benefits your life, not just temporarily, but for years and years to come. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of August and a great rest of your 2025. Bye.
She really the A-list girl. She really my favorite girl. I'm loving the way you twirl in the Maybach.